What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the 3829 podcast. If you don't know by now, I'm your host, Trey. Now, before we even jump into it, make sure you hit that like, comment, and that subscribe button. And I'm coming at y'all again with another episode of Ice. So I'm going to let him holler at y'all one time before we even jump into it.
What's good, 3829 family? Did you miss me? Go ahead and like the video before it starts, and we're going to get right into it. Yo, welcome back to another episode. Today, we got some fun-filled topics that you probably already know about, but we're going to go ahead and give our takes on it, man. Starting off first, right? Joe Milton for the Cowboys, America's team, right? He quoted, start by saying this, y'all. So he's been criticized for throwing the ball too hard, right?
I don't know how you could
And
throw the... Listen. I hear both sides of the argument. I hear both sides of the argument for sure. I'll just say that.
All right. Now with his response, right? His response was, I don't see how I can throw the ball too hard. Like, if you think I'm throwing the ball too hard, then you don't deserve to be in the NFL getting paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whoo, spicy. Hey, man, first of all, I'm going to start by saying this. As a QB, your job is to get the ball to where your receivers need to be. And then second, you need to make sure the ball is catchable, dog. Like, here's the thing. You can throw 80, 90 miles, but that's all great. But if it's not catchable, it's pointless.
That's
right?
true. That's definitely true.
Yeah. Now, Joe Milton, I give it to him, right? He has a heck of an arm, right? Brother's talented. But there's nuances and, intricacies to the game, right? So you got to learn control, right? You got to learn timing. You got to learn, when to throw a lob pass, when to throw a bullet, right? They can't all just be coming at like, bam, man. You know what I'm saying? Can't just all be like that, right? I used to have a teammate like him, right? Where he just threw the ball so hard, it would be hard to catch. I'm just like, bro. And it wasn't just me, it was everybody on the team. Finally, we had to switch him out because he could not understand that you cannot throw the ball the same way every single time, right? But I mean, yeah. I mean, if he can learn control, I think he could be good. I think Cowboys fans are calling for him to replace Dak Prescott as QB1. Only time will tell, but we'll see. I mean, if he can't get that control down, then I don't think it's gonna happen. But Trey, what you think on that?
Nah, for me personally, man, I definitely see both sides of it. Cause like you said, it gotta be catchable. But I mean, a bad ball for one receiver ain't a bad ball for another receiver, you get what I'm saying? But it's just knowing your personnel, you get what I'm saying, and knowing what's catchable for them. You get what I'm saying? And maybe going forward, I know that Dallas has, made some changes to the receivers going into this year, but maybe going forward, they continue to make changes to, if he does end up replacing Dak, to get some receivers that do fit, that they, complement each other well. You get what I'm saying? If you know that he got a cannon on him, get receivers that can catch those type of balls. You get what I'm saying? But I mean, I think that's as simple as that. You get what I'm saying? But for saying,
go ahead, my bad.
nah, you good. I mean, just saying that people don't deserve to get an NFL paycheck just because they can't catch that type of ball. I don't agree with that, because I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's just knowing your personnel. You get what I'm saying? Gronk and Tom Brady, that's a Hall of Fame, duo right there. But let's say, Tom Brady don't got Gronk, or Gronk don't got Tom Brady. Who's to say what either of them do? Now, we know Tom Brady was successful before Gronk, but just saying, you get what I'm saying? Just saying.
And that's the point. That's the whole point. As a QB, your job is supposed to be be a leader of the team, right? And you know what I'm saying? If your quote unquote leader of the team is saying stuff like that, you know that's gonna be questionable, right? It's like, I mean, he can say what he wants, it's his opinion, but how are your teammates gonna feel about you saying that, right? Like, what's gonna be the energy in the locker room going forward and everything like that, right? And so those are things to keep in mind, right? As you know what I'm saying, doing these quotes. But yeah, go ahead.
Nah,
Like,
I think we'll leave it off right there on that one. But I did also want to talk about, let's just keep it going with the QBs. Now, we have not shown the number one overall pick much love on this podcast yet. Now, it's not to say that we don't see what you're doing, brother. It's not to say none of that. Not to say none of that. But sadly, the first time that we are gonna bring it up is gonna be negative. Sadly, not to bring you down, brother. I said we wasn't showing you enough love, and don't worry. You shine, your love will get shown on this podcast. It is no negative feelings towards you. I just want to get that out right now. You know what I'm saying? Because you not Miles Turner. I ain't got no beef with you, dog. I ain't got no beef with you. Now, uh, back to what I was saying. Uh, Dang, what was I? My bad, y'all. Back to what I was saying. Cam Ward, man, it was a scuffle that happened during training camp. So Cam Ward, get doing his thing in training camp, ends up throwing a TD. Calvin Ridley, you know what I'm saying? And then he runs up to, dang, I don't remember. I think it was Simons. I apologize, boss. But runs up to one of the D tackles on the team and basically, proceeds to showboat, celebrate in his face. And the D tackle ain't going for that. And based on what the article I had read, it seemed like this had been, something that was ongoing, basically since day one. The D tackle made comments about Cam Ward before he, even arrived at training camp. So Cam Ward let it be known, like, yeah, this is one of the guys that, I want to, shine on. Not necessarily I want to do nothing negative, but I want to shut him up. He has something to say. I want to show him that I'm the real deal. But so they get into a scuffle. It's very quickly ended. D tackle pushes Cam Ward, and again, I apologize to just be referring to this man as a D tackle. You feel me? I gotta get my NFL knowledge up. But hey, this is the 3829 podcast. You want to go to another podcast? You do that. But this is 3829 podcast. All right. Now, like I was saying, they get into a scuffle. It's very quickly ended by the O-line. And that's pretty much that. They go on, both of them make comments, basically saying, we a family. That's what we needed. We both love to compete. And, that's just all it was. It's just us competing. We both competitors, and that's simple as that. The coach even came out and said he didn't see anything as a reason to be worried. But Ice, what's your take on it? You think that this is gonna, be something that's gonna continue to on go? You think it's gonna be locker room drama, or you think that these guys are gonna be professional and it was just them competing?
yeah. Well, first I want to say, calm your ass down, Debo. All right. Secondly, hey man, iron sharpens iron. You know what I'm saying? Like iron sharpens iron, right? So, I mean, in practices, you're gonna have guys talking trash. You're gonna have people getting into it, right? No matter what sport it is, you always gonna have people going at it in each other's faces, at each other's necks. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the spirit of competition, right? It's to bring out the best in you, right? And
Nah, for sure.
sometimes, right, when you're bringing out the best in people, you also bring out emotion, right? So scuffles happen, right? Scuffles happen, right? And I mean, and this is football, dog. So they constantly hitting, they're constantly bumping each other, right? Uh, it really devolved into a big thing because Jeffrey Simmons, the defensive tackle, what I'm saying, he came at Cam Ward in the O line. They had his back, backed him up. He even said, Yeah, man. Went after him. You know what I'm saying? O-line had his back. Can't do nothing but respect it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Can't touch that quarterback. You know, and so that's all it is, man. I mean, they just compete, right? Um, it. I mean, obviously, Titans. They'll, coaching staff and all that. They'll monitor the situation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Make sure it don't flare up into nothing crazy. But I mean, for the most part, uh, they letting them boys compete. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Iron sharpens iron. Let's do what we gotta do to get better.
No, for sure. Now we'll leave that one right there. But them wasn't the only blows getting thrown, man. Them was not the only blows getting thrown, man.
Oh no.
Man, listen. So if y'all don't know, Shiloh was ejected from the Bucks last game, and then after being ejected from the game, sadly he was ejected from the locker room. It's sad, man. It's sad. He was competing for that last spot on the squad. Um, and after those antics, the coach came out after the game and said, that's completely inexcusable, which I also agree with, man. You got to be professional, man. Now, I seen the play. If you ask me, you know, God Blacken was doing a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? Definitely doing too much, Play play's over, you know what I'm saying? And you still doing all of that. You're trying to get that reaction, but then still again, you are a professional. You're a professional. You know what I'm saying? And you have to act like that. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, man, you a man of color, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what they expect. You know what I'm saying? You represent all of us, man. You know what I'm saying? They say so much about, certain guys in the league and how they look, how they act on the field. Don't become that player, bro. Genuinely, that's all it is. Like don't become that player.
No, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, I went back, I looked at the play, and I can understand Shiloh's frustration, right? One thing he does have to realize, right? Like you said, he is, what I'm saying, a black man on the field, but more specifically, he's a Sanders, right?
Boy, no, leave that out of it. Like forget representing his dad. No, you want to represent yourself. You get what I'm saying? When I
And that
don't.
hear this, right? We see how they're treating Shador, right? What makes you think they're not gonna treat Shiloh like that, right? So all they needed was one reason. They just needed one reason, one excuse, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, nah, you out of here, right? Because they were already looking to do it anyway, right? Now you give them that reason and that excuse, right? With the unprofessional behavior, right? Um, yeah, I mean, that was just one of those moments where he needed to stay calm, stay poised, you know what I'm saying? Try to, find other ways to call out, that type of behavior,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Get the refs' attention, you know what I'm saying, in a different way versus well now all they see is him throwing a punch and the reaction to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they always say they don't catch the first person, they catch the
Yep.
react,
Yep. a hundred
right?
percent.
And so that was one of those teachable moments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then unfortunately, yeah, he did get waived from the team, right? That was pretty unfortunate. I did, want to see him get a chance at a team. I don't know if he will get one. I feel like he could, and I feel like he should, right? I feel like teams out there will at least practice squad or
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. At least give him a shot, right? I mean, it can't hurt. Plus jersey sales, you know. But I mean, yeah, you gotta maintain,
Nah,
right? Just
definitely got to maintain your composure, man. And like, it's just really sad to see, man. Cause like you said, man, we wanted to see this man be successful, and I'm not saying that he won't be able to be successful, but I definitely wanted to see him be successful, and now it's just gonna prolong, that process. But
Like,
we won't dwell on negativity too much. We'll move on, talk about his brother for a second. His brother. I won't say that he played good or bad. I'll say that he did the most that he could with his opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I'll say that. Through this preseason and basically through the whole process, like you said, you see how they treating Shador. You know, he should have never been a fifth round pick. You get what I'm saying? And then what we seen last game, it was ridiculous. It just, in my personal opinion, it showed that the Browns, just are not interested in Shador. You know what I'm saying? They're keeping him on the team just so he don't flourish somewhere else and they look stupid. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Uh that's my personal opinion on it. Because I mean, not only are you not protecting him, then you pull him and in the last drop, you get what I'm saying? He want to play that drive, get a team an opportunity to win, and you pull him. And it's clear that he wanted that opportunity because there's, you can see when he's walking over to the sideline, it's like, hey, coach, can I talk to you? And the coach like, no, nah, this what, and then after he says, the idea was to always go with Snoop, basically saying that the idea was to never go with, I guess the idea wasn't to be the game to be close, but I mean, it's the preseason. So, I mean, I assume that you expected the game to be close. But I mean, I feel like that was a great opportunity to allow him to show himself and prove himself once again. Closing out in a late game situation, and they didn't give him that opportunity. But I'll let you go ahead and get your take on it.
um, I mean, where do I start? Right. First half, uh, Flacco gets a little bit of burn. Um, I know his stats look good, but he didn't look that great, if you ask me. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just saying I didn't see nothing. Oh my gosh, exceptional from Flacco that just made me say, "Oh my gosh, we have to keep him on the roster. We need him." Um, like obviously he's better than Gabriel and Sanders, right? Right now
Mm-hmm.
at this very current moment, yes, he is better than them, right? Clearly, we know that. But still, with the position that the Browns are in, I still didn't see a reason for them to be like, yeah, we need Flacco, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nonetheless, I mean he was all right. Dylan got in there, Now mind you, both of these guys are playing with the first and second stringers. They're both playing with the first and second stringers, right? So now, by the time that Shador actually gets in the game, well, he's playing with guys that are probably most of them are probably gonna be cut. And by them, I mean like the linemen he were playing with, right? They couldn't hold a block for more than 3 seconds. They couldn't, contain defenses, right? Now, I'm not saying Shador was great or would have, what I'm saying, played phenomenal with it. All I'm saying is I want to see him on a level playing field, right? And clearly what the Browns organization was doing, right? Okay, even looking at the play calling, right? The play calling was so different for both of them. It was just like, wow, we're not going to even give him a fair chance to, what I'm saying, showcase what he can do and everything like that. And then yeah, the last second decision of taking him out, putting Huntley in, I mean, wow, right? Wow, just I ain't gonna say it was disrespectful, but it's like, come on, man, y'all know what y'all did. right? And so now with that being said, it's like normally if somebody is playing bad and you don't want them on their team, they get cut. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have plans on keeping them if you're not going to utilize him? It makes no sense, you know.
No, 100%. I definitely agree with that, and it's very irritating. You get what I'm saying? And I say this a million times. It was plenty of teams out there with a question mark at quarterback. Why was he still on the board in the fifth round?
And again, we know the answer to that question, and the answer ain't football related, you know. Right? Even Eric Dickerson, right? He even said it that they were going to try to make him go undrafted and sign a certain, you know what I'm saying? Just to show him, oh, we run things, not you, just to try to, tear a young black confident man down, right? It's honestly ridiculous. The amount of like hate he gets simply just for being a Sanders. I mean, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? Right. But I think at the end in his press conference, Shador handled it well. Um, he did mention there's a possibility that right, none of them could all we might not all be playing on the same team again. Uh
Mm-hmm.
Maybe him alluding to his possible being cut or exit from the team, which I think that would be ideal for him. I don't think the Browns are going to do that. I think they're going to keep him just so nobody else can have him. Right? Good thing he only has a 2-year deal. Right? But I mean, yeah, the whole situation is irritating and frustrating, and I don't understand. Like, I mean, bro, Shador, keep your head up, dog. That's all I gotta say. Keep your head up, keep grinding, keep focusing. Because I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Nah, for real. For real. All right, y'all. That's gonna wrap it up for this episode. If you liked it, make sure you hit that like, that comment, and that subscribe button. And I'm gonna let y'all holler at Ice one time before we jump out of here.
That'll do it for this episode, 3829 family. If you like the vid, go ahead, leave a like and comment. If you're new here, go ahead, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss another post. And we'll see you on the next one.